Now, knowing you, I know that you're aware of the things that people are saying. You're moving up in two-weight classes. You're the smaller man.
For more than 2 decades, the boxing world believed Floyd Mayweather's perfect 50-0 record would never be overshadowed. He was a ghost in the ring, a defensive magician who made legends look ordinary. But one historic night changed everything. A single explosive statement from the only man who had faced both fighters threatened to tear that monument down. The debate was no longer just about who was better. It was about whether Mayweather's entire era had been eclipsed. The firestorm began the moment Terence Crawford had his hand raised against Canelo Alvarez after a masterful performance in which Crawford did what many believed was impossible.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to
The real shock came during the post-fight press conference. When asked to compare Crawford to his former opponent Floyd Mayweather, Canelo didn't hesitate. With the world's media hanging on his every word, he made his stance clear.
Terence Crawford is the best fighter on the planet. Pound for pound, he's that dude. In this 4-belt era, he is now the undisputed world champion 3 times over. 140 pounds, 147, now 168 pounds, claiming all the belts. You don't see people doing that very often. Going up against a guy who was perceived as being bigger and stronger, Crawford was strong. Crawford was strong enough to fend him off, strong enough to make him respect his own power. He used his jab, he used his distance. He had poise in the ring, he wasn't rattled. He backed up and moved when necessary and kept us different. He exchanged enough to gain respect when necessary. It was a brilliant, brilliant master.
Coming from the only fighter on the planet to share the ring with both men, this wasn't just an opinion, it was a bombshell. That single sentence sent shockwaves through the sport and reignited a debate that had been simmering for years. Watching from the sidelines, Stephen A. Smith was immediately captivated. Like many others, he expected Crawford to use his technical skill and stay on the outside to outbox the bigger, stronger man. But that's not what happened.
Contrast the fight between yourself and Floyd Mayweather Jr. and tonight's bout with Terence Bud Crawford, if you can.
No, I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather.
Noted with astonishment that Crawford didn't just survive. He stepped into the fire and exchanged with Canelo. He proved he had more than just skill. He had grit. As Smith put it, what I didn't expect was for him to stand in there, exchange, and survive. Crawford did that on several occasions, which is why he deserved so much credit. Smith broke the fight down, saying he had it scored 5-4 in Crawford's favor after 9 rounds before Crawford put on a boxing clinic to decisively win the final 3 rounds. He absorbed Canelo's power and fired back, thriving in moments where a smaller fighter should have crumbled.
Well, I appreciate Crawford making my prediction come through. Coming into the fight, I had him winning by decision. I thought he was the superior boxer. I thought he would be able to take a punch. And as long as he didn't stay there and exchange with Canelo, I thought he could do it. What surprised me is that there were times during the fight, he did stand there and exchange with Canelo and took it. Took some body shots to the liver, took some headshots, exchanged, and still ended up winning this fight. I thought from the 8th round on, he just put on a boxing clinic, but I gotta give credit where credit is due.
Stephen A. praised the performance as a masterclass. However, despite being deeply impressed, he wasn't ready to dethrone the king just yet. He remembered a different kind of master, a phantom in the ring that Crawford, for all his heart, simply wasn't.
He's a special fighter because he's got a mean streak. He doesn't back up from anything. He's usually the superior boxer in the ring. He finds a way to win. No matter who he's going up against, no matter what power you have, what boxing skills you have, he is truly a generational kind of fighter. He wants to go in the ring and not just beat you, but show you he was a better man. And he's not one who believes that just a knockout does that. He likes outboxing you and showing you that his skill level is superior to yours. And he showed it tonight.
This is where Stephen A. Smith drew a crucial line. He reminded everyone that Floyd Mayweather was a defensive enigma, a magician whose goal was to win without getting hit. With notoriously brittle hands that deteriorated throughout the second half of his career, Floyd knew he couldn't rely on knockout power. This wasn't just theory, it was well documented.
Was undefeated for the last half of his career with one hand. He constantly broke his hand.
Yeah.
He would go into a ring knowing he had no shot at knocking somebody out because his hands were hurt too much, and literally walked in the ring and said, I'm gonna embarrass you and humiliate you by showing the world you can't hit me.
Mayweather himself admitted that his hands were extremely brittle and revealed that he couldn't even spar for a month before the Conor McGregor fight due to injury.
Mayweather looks me in my face and he says, I'm gonna take him out about the 8th or 9th round. And I said, your hands are always broken. You ain't known for your punching power since you moved up from lightweight to welterweight. Why are you so sure you're gonna do this? He said, Stephen A., he's a UFC fighter. He said, and he's a striker. He's accustomed to coming at you and throwing punches. What he's not accustomed to doing is punching while he's throwing backwards, while he's moving backwards and pushing you off of him. He says, I'm gonna walk right into him and stay in his chest. He's gonna have to push me off in order to throw his punches. He said he's gonna be circling the ring. He said by around 4 or 5, he's not gonna have any legs. He's gonna be done. And he said, and I'll just toy with him and keep him around until around the 8th or the 9th round. And that is exactly what Floyd Money Mayweather did. He told me exactly what he was gonna do, and he did it.
Adding a more controversial layer, reports long suggested that during the second half of his career, Mayweather fought almost exclusively in Las Vegas, one of the few places that allowed numbing injections like xylocaine for hand pain. This hinted that his hand issues were a major strategic factor in where and how he fought. Instead of risking exchanges, he became untouchable.
Huh? I thought you hurt your hand by myself. Okay, all right. Relax, baby, the job is done already.
Put in a bucket of ice, man. Get a bucket of ice. Chilling.
I'm saying Shane hit me with a hell of a shot. Okay. Actually, 2 shots.
Oh, okay.
But even in that particular round, what I said to Shane was this. I was like,
You said something to him when you grabbed him.
I said, you gotta kill me.
Oh shit. I wasn't ready, Floyd.
I said that was a good one. I said that was a good one, but you gotta kill me. Wow. I said, you gotta kill me. And did I mean I'm not gonna lie.
Trainer Greg Hackett echoed this view, arguing that the Floyd who fought Canelo was a complete fighter with an unshakable, polished style, contrasting sharply with Crawford's more confrontational approach.
49-0. Before Floyd got to 50-0, he was a heavyweight champ. Did anyone ever consider Rocky Marciano the GOAT? No, not seriously, no. Why would Floyd be considered the GOAT? Because he beat more fighters than Rocky did, more great ones? That's true. But really, Floyd was careful in the way he selected opponents. Don't get that twist. It's not that Floyd didn't fight a lot of great fighters. He did. It's not that I don't think he would have beaten a lot of the tougher fighters than he fought. I think he probably would have, but he didn't do it. He waited. He waited till Pacquiao wasn't at his best anymore. He didn't fight Margarito when Margarito was tearing everyone up. He waited for the right time to fight people. He got paid twice as much for fighting Pacquiao in a less dangerous fight than he would have had he fought him when everyone wanted to see him fight. Floyd is among the all-time greats, but he...
In Stephen A. Smith's own words, the difference between the two fighters was clear.
He's capping. I can't, because I don't know what he felt. But when I heard that, what I think is, when Floyd beat me, I was 23, I wasn't polished. When Bud beat me, I was the man. I was the man. And he beat me fair and square. He beat me at my game and he beat me at his game. That's why Canelo said that. Do I believe that? It's tough to believe. But I can only take Canelo's word because he's the man that's been in the ring with both of them. But I understand why he said it. I was a kid when I fought Floyd. He wasn't a kid literally, but he was young. He was young. There was a lot he didn't know. There was a lot he didn't understand about boxing that he later on learned and got better. But Bud beat the better version of me, even though it's the ran down version. I'm saying that because it is some wear and tear there with Canelo. I've been saying it the whole time. When a guy got almost 70 fights in current time, with all those big camps he's been doing and all that, trust me, it's some wear and tear there. I'm not making excuses for Canelo. I'm just saying,
I don't know. That's what it gives it that air.
I also think you got to remember when you talking about a Mexican fighter, they big on punishment. He might also feel Crawford punches harder than Floyd and took more chances than Floyd took. Floyd really was super speed that night. Like, everything speed. And it irritated Canelo because Canelo couldn't do what he wanted to do. And he looked nothing like himself. Like I said, I think it was just times where Canelo felt like, damn, I could have had him. With Floyd, I think he felt like paralyzed. Like, damn, I can't catch this motherfucker. He too fast. But with Crawford, I felt like he maybe was saying, damn, I could have, if I would have threw this or if I would have did that. You know what I mean? Because it was times Crawford sat there and caught a punch and countered back. You know what I'm saying? He let Canelo throw. Like, go ahead, throw your shit. He caught that shit, boom, and come right back with the hook. The same shot he caught Earl with. He was touching Canelo with some of that same shit, man. And it was just like, and it was times where Crawford was imposing himself on Canelo. He was stepping to Canelo at times. He didn't do it the whole fight, but I'm just saying it was times he stepped to him. Floyd did too, but Floyd just was so fast, so much faster. And the education was like totally different. Like when Canelo fought Floyd, Canelo was in middle school. He wasn't even, you know what I'm saying? Floyd by that time was already hard.
Crawford, on the other hand, took punches from Canelo and proved his chin and toughness. But in Stephen A.'s eyes, the fact that Crawford had to prove it was exactly what separated him from Floyd. Floyd's greatness was defined by avoidance, by never needing to show durability. Before the debate could escalate further, many pointed to a simpler truth. These fighters were products of different eras. Terence Crawford himself acknowledged this, stating, "Floyd is the best fighter of his era, and I feel like I'm the best fighter of my era."
I think that Floyd Mayweather was such a magician defensively. And we have to look at Floyd Money Mayweather in this regard. Once he moved up to welterweight, his hands were always damaged. So he kind of knew he wasn't going to be able to knock you out for the most part. And still, he walked into the ring and put on masterful performances because he was so superior, skill-wise and defensively. You can't say enough. Tonight with Crawford, for example, we saw him take a punch on several occasions. With Floyd, we didn't see that too often because you couldn't hit him.
That perspective adds crucial nuance. Greatness isn't a single linear path. It belongs to the time a fighter dominates. Complicating the comparison further is age. Floyd's uncle, Jeff Mayweather, argued that Floyd was already 36 and past his prime when he faced a young Canelo, making direct comparisons to a prime Crawford facing a seasoned Canelo extremely difficult.
He just got something that I want.
And it's not just the title, it's what else?
It's everything. He got everything. And I'm coming to get it.
When you beat him, you'll have everything?
That's the argument not as who is better head-to-head, but as two kings ruling over separate and distinct periods in boxing history.
Remember, Canelo that time was a razor-thin decision. Floyd won, majority decision. C.J. Ross had it with what a lot of people had as a draw. And then the other two judges scored it for Floyd, of course. And that was a Floyd at the top of his game with a very green Canelo with very little experience, and he took him, into deep waters. So
what was Canelo? What, 20-something? 20 what? 23, 25?
Yeah, he was. Very, very young in the game, obviously.
Very young. He had more fights than Floyd, and he lost.
Yeah, but
man, that was 30-something years old, 36.
But Floyd was clearly at the top of his career, and Canelo had fought a lot of people. But
how you at the top of your career in your prime? You in your prime? You ain't in your prime.
The debate over primes and defensive styles is complex, but one fact is undeniable. Terence Crawford holds a staggering achievement on his resume, one that Floyd Mayweather never came close to matching.
A lot of comparisons between Terence Crawford and Floyd Mayweather. We've even had the conversation to go as far as who would win in a fight between Terence and Floyd, and I truly don't know the answer to that question.
I do.
You do?
Yes.
Yeah. Who would win that fight?
Floyd.
Floyd would win that
Yes,
fight.
sir. I love you, Terrence.
Always figures it out.
Yeah,
Yes. He's a chess master.
Yeah, his IQ and
But
that
the
shit
funny
is
thing
crazy.
about it is Terrence has been the only other guy that people can say he always figures it out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's true.
But you gotta
Can't
have
say
an
that
OG
about
somewhere.
anybody
though.
else. Yeah.
There's an OG
Somebody
somewhere.
got a pioneer,
that you can't
right?
out-figure
Yeah,
out.
yeah, you gotta
There's
get
an OG you can't out-figure out somewhere.
yeah,
And I just
yeah.
believe Floyd is that OG you can't out-figure out.
All right, everyone. Stay updated with the latest boxing news, highlights, events, and stories. Subscribe to Knockout today and turn on notifications so you never miss a moment. Don't forget to check out our other videos. Until next time, take care and peace.